Nnedi Okoye was a hard-working woman who lived in a small town with her husband, Mr. Okoye, and their three children. Their home was not the biggest in the neighborhood, but it was always filled with love and laughter. Mr. Okoye was a kind and responsible man and made sure his family never lacked anything. He worked as a school teacher, and though he did not earn much, he managed to provide for his wife and children. Their children, Emeka, Nonso and Ada, were well behaved and respectful. Emeka, the eldest, was quiet and responsible. Nonso, the second son, was smart and playful, while Ada, the youngest, was full of life and always eager to help her mother around the house. Mr. Okoye loved all his children equally and treated them with the same care and attention. At night, he would gather them and tell them stories about life, teaching them the importance of hard work, kindness, and respect. Nnedi was a supportive wife and a loving mother who made sure her children always had food to eat and clothes to wear. Life was simple but peaceful for the Okoye family. As the years passed, the children grew older and started preparing for the university. Mr. Okoye was proud of them and encouraged them to study hard. Emeka got admitted to study business administration, while Nonso chose to study engineering, and Ada pursued a career in law. The family was excited, but deep inside, Nnedi and her husband were worried about the cost of the university education. They knew that if the children must go through the university, then they had to work extra hard. Mr. Okoye worked extra hours to save money for the children's fees. Nnedi also started selling food at the market to support her husband. And despite their struggles, they never let their children feel the burden. Then, the unexpected happened. One evening, while returning from work, Mr. Okoye collapsed in front of their house. Neighbors rushed to help him, but by the time they got to the hospital, it was too late. Mr. Okoye had passed away from a heart attack. Nnedi was heartbroken. She cried for days, wondering how she would raise three children alone. The burden of paying for their education and taking care of the family now fell on her. Life wasn't easy while her husband was still alive. How was she going to take care of the family now that he was no more? She thought to herself always, lost in thought, but she was determined to make her children not to suffer. Life became difficult for the Okoye family after Mr. Okoye's death. Nnedi had to work twice as hard to pay for her children's school fees, rent, and food. She took on extra jobs, cleaning houses during the day and selling food in the evening. She kept consoling herself with the thought that when her children graduate from the school, they would take care of her. Emeka, Nonso and Ada tried to help in the way they could. During holidays, Emeka worked as a laborer, carrying heavy bags of rice in the marketplace, and some days he would go to the building sites and work as a laborer, helping to carry blocks. Nonso helped his mother sell food in the evening, calling out to customers to patronize his mother's food business, while Ada took care of the house and helped neighbors with small chores to earn money. Despite the struggles, Nnedi, their mother, never gave up. She encouraged her children to focus on their studies and promised them that with time, things would get better. The children, seeing their mother's sacrifice, studied hard and performed well in school. But deep inside, Nnedi was exhausted. Some nights, she cried herself to sleep, missing her husband and worried about the future. Still, she never let her children see her pain. After years of hard work, the children finally graduated from the university. Nnedi was overjoyed. She believed that all her struggles were finally over, that her children would soon get good jobs and start to take care of her as she had always envisioned. But reality was different. Emeka and Ada searched for job for months without success. They submitted applications everywhere, but no one was hiring. On the other hand, Nonso, the second son, was lucky. He secured a well paying job in an oil company. Within a few months, he started earning a good salary and living comfortably. He sent money to his mother regularly and bought her expensive gifts. Nedi was proud of him and began to see him as the only successful child. Emeka and Ada continued to struggle. They had applied for so many vacancies, but each interview came back with the sad news of a rejection, and sometimes they were simply told, "We will get back to you." This broke them even more. Every of their hope were being dashed each passing day. Emeka sometimes borrowed money from friends to transport himself for interviews. He mostly survived on friends who were lenient enough to give him a token. It didn't take long before Nnedi, their mother, started comparing Emeka and Ada to Nonso. She would say, "Look at your brother Nonso. He is successful. What are you both doing with your lives? Nothing. After all my sacrifices to train you to the university, I am here to eat a kobo from you." Their mother's words hurt them deeply, but they said nothing. They loved their mother and did not want to make her unhappy. With time, Nnedi's love for Nonso, the second son, became more obvious. Whenever he visited, she would cook his favorite meals and praise him endlessly. "Nonso, my son, you are the light of this family," she would say. "What would I have done without you?" But when Emeka or Ada are around, she barely paid attention. If Emeka suggested something, she would dismiss it and say, "Let's hear what Nonso thinks first." Families meeting became painful for Emeka especially. He was the first child, but gradually he knew he was losing his place. Nnedi only cared about Nonso's opinions and ignored his. She would say, it is not about talking, no. When the time to bring money comes now, you will start complaining that you don't have. So let the person that has money to back up his speech be the first to speak." Ada had to get a job at the law firm, but the pay was little, 20,000 naira per month. But she knew that it was better to earn little than nothing at all. After all, she would not be home always to hear her mother's continuous nagging about her trying to finish the food that Nonso, her beloved son, bought for her. "Ada, do and get a job before you finish my food in this house. Oh. If not for Nonso, I would have starved to death by now. Eh? You and Emeka, you are very useless to me." Even when Ada decided to get married, her mother was not happy because her husband-to-be was not rich. On the day of Ada's wedding, Nnedi barely smiled. She even told Ada, "You could have done better." Ada had tried severally to make her mother see reason why she married John, but Nnedi would only hiss, "You are just pathetic. So I trained you to the university to marry a teacher." "But mother, is our father not a teacher?" "Oh, I see, you have a thing for poverty," the mother would say. When Ada gave birth, Nnedi stayed in her house for Omugwo for just 2 days before leaving for Nonso's house. She preferred to stay there because Nonso's home was comfortable and he provided everything she needed. Knowing fully well that Ada's husband was an orphan and she was the only one who could assist in bathing and taking care of the new baby, Ada felt abandoned. She had a newborn baby and needed her mother's help, but Nnedi didn't care. All her love and attention went to Nonso and his son. Emeka, still struggling to find a job, felt even worse. His mother constantly reminded him that he was not successful like Nonso. Some nights, Emeka would cry alone in his room, wondering why his own mother was making life miserable for him. And so, the family that was once united started to break apart. But Nnedi did not notice the damage she was causing. She was too blinded by her own love for Nonso to see the pain in her other children's eyes. Nonso continued to prosper in his career. He bought a big house in the city and a new car. Whenever he visited his mother, he showered her with expensive gifts. Nnedi was proud and never stopped praising him. She would often tell neighbors, "No, so is the pride of this family." Oh. Meanwhile, Emeka and Ada felt more and more distant and useless to her. They tried their best to maintain a relationship with their mother, but she always found a way to compare them to Nonso. Ada, who was now a mother, needed guidance, but Nnedi barely paid attention to her struggles. Emeka soon grew bitter. He watched as his mother treated him with disdain, as if he did not exist. Even when he managed to earn small money from odd jobs, Nnedi was unimpressed. "Your younger brother is building houses in the city, and you are here struggling, eating from my pots," she would say. Ada, though hurt by her mother's actions, stopped seeking validation from her mother and devoted her time to her husband and child. But Emeka could not escape the pain. The respect he once had in the family was gone, and he felt like a failure. And most times, Emeka wished his father, Mr. Okoye, was still alive. Their father always treated them equally and never made anyone felt less of themselves. But now, the family bond was growing weaker, but Nnedi was blind to see it. She believed she was simply rewarding success, not realizing she was breaking her own family apart. As the months passed, Nnedi's favoritism towards Nonso became more apparent. Whenever she spoke about her children in public, she would proudly say, "Nonso is the one taking care of me. He is the son every mother should pray for." Emeka and Ada grew used to their mother's words, but the pain never truly left them. Ada stopped expecting much from Nnedi, but Emeka still longed for his mother's approval. He tried to make her happy and proud, but nothing he did seemed to impress her. Nonso, on the other hand, enjoyed the attention. He felt superior to his siblings and rarely showed them respect. During family discussions, he would dismiss Emeka's ideas, and Ndedi would always take his side. "Emeka, let Nonso handle it now," she would say. "He knows what he is doing." Emeka started avoiding family gatherings. Whenever Nonso was around, he felt like a stranger in his own home. Ada's life was not easy. Her husband was a hardworking man, but they lived modestly. She sometimes struggled to buy baby supplies, and though she wished she could ask her mother for help, she knew that Nnedi's response would be, "Go to your husband. He should take care of you." Nnedi had told her the last time she asked for assistance. Meanwhile, she never hesitated to send money to Nonso's wife, even when she knew that Nonso's wife had more than enough. The only comfort Ada had was her husband's support. He reminded her that they were building their lives together and that one day they would also have their breakthrough. Ada agreed, though it still felt that her mother did not care about her struggles. Nnedi rarely visited Ada's home. Even when she did, she never stayed long. "Your house is too small," she would complain. "I can't stay here when I have a comfortable place in Noso's house." Ada stopped trying to please her mother. She focused on her own family and tried to be happy with what she had. But deep down, she wished things were different. Emeka had reached his breaking point. He was exhausted from being looked down on by his own mother. He had tried his best to get a job, but nothing was working out. The more he struggled, the more Nnedi made him felt like a failure. One day, after another failed job interview, he returned home and found his mother praising Noso again. "Noso just sent me money for new clothes, so," she said excitedly. "He is truly a blessing." Emeka could not hold back anymore. "Mama, do you even care about me at all? Do you know how much you hurt me with your words? I tried, mother. I tried my best," he said, his voice shaking. "Do you see how much your words hurt me?" Nnedi frowned. "What are you talking about? You are my son too. I am pushing you to do better." "No, Mama, you don't treat me like one. You don't treat me like your own son," Emeka said. Ever since Noso started making money, you pushed me aside like I don't exist. Lady waved her hand dismissively. Instead of complaining, why don't you work hard like your brother, eh? Is that too much a thing to ask? Emeka's heart broke. He realized that nothing he said would change his mother's mind. That night, he cried himself to sleep, wondering if he would ever be good enough for her. However, one day, Nnedi fell ill. It started as a minor sickness, but soon she became too weak to leave her bed. Nonso, busy with his job and personal life, did not have time to visit. He sent money for her treatment, but never came to check on her. Days passed and Nnedi's condition worsened. She called Nonso multiple times, but he either ignored her calls or told her he was too busy. His wife also did not care about her mother-in-law's suffering. Realizing that she had no one else to turn to, the doctor had to contact Emeka and Ada. Though they had every reason to ignore their mother's plight, they rushed to the hospital immediately. Nnedi was shocked to see them. You came? She asked weakly. Of course, Mama, Ada said, holding her hands. Emeka placed a hand on her shoulder. We may not be your favorite, but you are still our mother. Tears filled Nnedi's eyes. She had spent so much time pushing them away, yet they were the ones standing by her side when she needed them the most. Nnedi stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks. Every day, Emeka and Ada took turns caring for her. They brought her home cooked meals, sat by her side, and made sure she was comfortable. Meanwhile, Nonso remained absent, only sending messages asking if she was getting better. One evening, as she watched Ada adjusting her pillow and Emeka handling her a cup of tea, she broke down in tears. I, I have been a terrible mother, she sobbed. I ignored you, hurt you, I made you feel like you were not enough. Yet, here you are, taking care of me. Emeka sighed. Mama, we were hurt, but we never stopped loving you. Ada nodded. We just wanted you to see that we mattered too. Nnedi wiped her tears. I see it now, and I regret everything. Please, forgive me. Though the pain she had caused them would not disappear overnight, Emeka and Ada chose to forgive her. They still carried the scars of her favoritism, but they knew that holding on to resentment would only bring more pain. 2 weeks later, Emeka received an unexpected call. He had been offered a high-paying job better than anything Nonso had ever earned. Overwhelmed with joy, he rushed home to share the news with his family. As he hugged his mother, Nnedi realized something. Something very important. Success was not measured by wealth alone. The true wealth she had ignored all these years was the love of her children. From that day on, she vowed to treat all her children with equal love and respect. She had learned her lesson the hard way, but at least she had learned it before it was too late. Thank you for watching the story. Kindly share your thoughts about this story and the valuable lessons you have learned from it in the comment section as we interact. Subscribe to this channel if you're not already subscribed. Like this video, please, and kindly share out this video to your loved ones. Until I come your way again with another story, for now, from me, it is bye.